You coming to eat?
You can never truly understand another person's life, they say,
How you doing?
until you've walked a mile in their shoes.
Would you like a care package?
Lately, Sharon Alexander has been taking that one step further. Although, for Sharon, it feels more like 2 steps back.
I'm not gonna let this take away my smile. I'm not gonna let this take me to where I'm gonna feel sorry for myself and just give up.
It was 4 years ago, Sharon says, she was driving in West Oakland when she passed a homeless encampment. Something she had done many times before, but this time, she didn't keep driving.
I thought to myself, I wonder if they're hungry. So I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, bought 100 pieces of chicken, bought some of the juices and all that stuff, got some plates, went back, and it had been a hit. It was just like everybody came to the car, like, okay, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Every Sunday evening since, Sharon and her volunteers have been coming back to feed those living on the street. Arthur Jean's Safe Place, named after Sharon's mom, is what she calls their program. It's people in a position to give to those less fortunate, doing just that. But here's the thing. Sharon is no longer more fortunate than those without a place to live.
The front seat, that's mine. It goes all the way back.
Because she no longer has a place to live. This past fall, Sharon's longtime partner, Ron, passed away. A few months later, she was forced to leave their home of 12 years.
Yeah.
Her car and friends' couches are where Sharon and her 18-year-old grandson have been spending their nights for the past 2 months.
We made some homemade pot roast with potatoes in it and everything.
But every Sunday evening, you will still find Sharon on Martin Luther King Jr. Way doing what she's always done, providing a homemade meal, although now courtesy
Give me my hat. Oh.
of a woman without a home.
I don't look at it as being like a poor me, a pity party. I don't look at it like that. I feel like I found my purpose in life, and I don't want to give that up.
Sharon relies on donations for her supplies and a friend's kitchen to prepare the food. She knows no one would blame her if she took time off from giving back to get back on her feet. But doing so, Sharon says, would leave her truly less fortunate.
I can't explain it. It's so beautiful. When I go out there, it's like I take everything I'm going through, I push it to the side. I'm like in a whole nother world. Because giving, where you can and when you can, even if it's just one moment in time, it's a beautiful feeling.
No one will ever really know exactly how long we lived under the cloud of the pandemic, in part because we never knew what the end of the pandemic would look like.
Oh my God.
Well, today in San Francisco,
I'm really excited to see you.
it looks something like this.
I'm so happy
Oh
to
my
meet
goodness,
you.
here you are.
2 women, both brought together and kept apart by COVID,
I'm overwhelmed. I might cry.
able to be together for the very first time. Like all pandemic stories, this one begins roughly 3 years ago. Austin Krieger had just retired from a career in HR and had signed up for a number of in-person volunteer opportunities.
And then all of a sudden, Austin, you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. I hope you like your condo because you're going to be in it full time.
So Austin went looking for what she could do from her home and found Social Call, a program run by nonprofit Front Porch and funded in part by Kaiser Permanente. Social Call matched volunteers with seniors living alone for weekly phone calls,
Usually we talk Tuesday at 11.
which is how Austin got the number
Hello?
of 81-year-old Rita LaForce.
Austin, I'm fine.
Rita has lived alone for many years in her Pacific Heights apartment, but the pandemic threatened to isolate her in ways she's never experienced. A health aide suggested she sign up for Social Call.
I didn't expect to get a dearest friend from this.
When Rita and I got started, we would talk sometimes for over 2 hours because Rita's story is really interesting to me and I loved to hear about her.
All right.
Austin's original commitment was for 1 year. But 3 years later, they still talk weekly, each considering the other a dear friend, but one they had never met in person
I'm so happy to meet you.
until today.
Could not have gotten through it without her. I just could not have.
Having Rita, somebody that I know I was bringing pleasure to, and she was bringing pleasure to me. I would have loved you over there.
Two women who had touched each other's lives, now finally able to touch.
So what I want you guys to do is work on this mold part.
The 3D modeling class at Almaden Country Day School isn't a required course. It's one students choose to take.
One of the pieces for the hand.
Well, this year, 8th grader Sarah Vender not only chose to take the course, she chose to take it somewhere very special.
At first I was a little unsure because I've never made a hand before.
It all started earlier this school year when a parent of a 3rd grader approached teacher Joanne Pepini. The woman's son, Trent, was born without a fully formed right hand. She asked if the modeling class could take a crack at 3D printing a prosthetic hand for Trent.
And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that'll be nice for college and high school kids. But I wanted to do something with it.
Joanne brought the idea to her middle schoolers,
This one we are.
and Sarah and her classmates decided to take on the challenge of helping making the life of one of their schoolmates a little better.
I really wanted to make sure it was perfect because I knew that this would change his life if it went well.
What shape would you use?
Following instructions they found online, the class set to work designing, printing, and assembling the hand.
So this is our failure box.
A month's worth of trial and error and more error all led to the final prototype and eventual success.
I was so relieved that it worked. I was like, yes, it worked.
I felt happy, and I was super excited to show my class.
We were crying. We were just ecstatic. We were running around, and Trent's running outside, and the kids are high-fiving him, and everybody was just emailing me and crying, and I had tears.
Trent is thrilled with his new hand and all the things it allows him to do that he couldn't in the past.
Because look, like.
And Sarah, well, she is thrilled as well, not just for Trent, but for all the things it inspires her to do in the future.
Yeah, I just saw that he was so happy, and it made me feel so good that I was able to do something that could help him so much. And yeah, I definitely think that I want to pursue that.